Pissed off at God yet? If not, you're going to be. But it's okay. He understands. He's been through it too. That's exactly what a pastor said to me while sitting on my tailgate about 2 months after I lost my boy. Now rewind. Tanner had a good friend in middle school whose father was a youth pastor at a local church. Tanner passed away about 2 months before his 14th birthday. Some friends of Tanner's approached Tammy and I and asked if they could throw a birthday party for Tanner. We said, of course. And that evening, when the boy's father came to pick him up, he asked if we could talk for a few minutes. We walked over the tailgate in my truck, sat down, and he looked me in the eye and said, Jim, have you been pissed off at God yet? Well, first thought that pops in my head is, man, that is an unorthodox question coming from a pastor. But then I realized, this guy's just talking to me one-on-one, man, and I thought about the question long and hard. The thought pops into my head, dude, I haven't been the coolest cat in the pews. I am what you maybe label as a casual Christian on my best day. I went to church on Sundays if the hangovers weren't too bad from hanging out with my buddies the night before. I went to church on Sundays and it made Tammy happy. And I went to church on Sundays sometimes when it made me happy. I read a good chunk of the Bible, and I've, done some small groups. And I even played lead guitar in the church band for a while. And let me tell you, if I'm playing lead guitar in your band's in trouble. But I met some great people. When Tanner passed, I never needed those words written in red to be any more true than I did then. And I was scared to be mad at God. I was thinking, I'm searching for concrete. People ask me, when Tanner passed, did you start reading the Bible more? I was like, no, I quit reading the Bible. I started studying the Bible. I don't my Bible with my iPhone or my iPad sitting right beside me. I'd be Googling things and scripture that I didn't understand. And I was just digging and diving and looking for concrete is what I was doing. I was just, I had to know. I had to know beyond a shadow of doubt. I had to know that everything that I had been brought up to know was true. And along the way, I lost my hope. And that, after a while, turned into anger. And it hit one day. Yeah, I was mad at God. And that anger turned to rage. And I felt betrayed. I felt cheated. I felt like my family didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve this. Tanner got cut short. He didn't deserve this. This was all unfair. God got it wrong. You got the wrong dude. You got the wrong family. You messed up. And, the very things that I cherish so much in life, time with my family as a whole, or times with each piece of my family individually, from snowboarding to surfing to motocross to, in the evenings when Tanner and I would just sit and pick guitars in the evening. We lost all of it. And, God, you screwed up on this one. You got it wrong, God. You got it wrong. And that rage and that anger just led down a dark rabbit hole. It led down a path of destruction. And I remember sitting at the lake with a loaded 9mm in my lap, begging, screaming, and cursing at God to give me the strength to do something about this pain. And I remember sitting at the lake with a loaded 9mm in my lap, begging and screaming and cursing at God to give me the strength not to do something. And they were both the same thing. that time in my life was so dark, but I realized it was needed. There was a purpose for it. I was answering my own questions. I was following God, leading me back to my hope and my faith. You know, I had gotten so wrapped up and so worried about, what if everybody's got it wrong? What if the Bible's not true? What if the liberals are right? What if there is none? I mean, there isn't. I mean, what if I've held him for the last time? What if I'm never going to be with him again? I'm never going to smell the conditioner in his hair again. I'm never going to, laugh with him and hang out with him and cry with him again. And it was more than my mind could comprehend and could process. But what I was learning and not realizing it was I was answering my own question. How it's impossible for me to be angry at something that I don't believe in. When was the last time I got mad at the Easter Bunny? Well, I've never gotten mad at the Easter Bunny. I don't believe in the Easter Bunny. Well, I guess that kind of holds true here too. If I'm so angry at God and I'm so upset with God, then how can I not believe in God? And if I believe in God, then isn't everything okay? Aren't we all going to be together again? If it's true, the Bible says it is, then I'm going to be with him again. And a calm just kind of started coming over me. And I started realizing, okay, I get it. I am going to be with him again. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so upset about it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we can pay attention to the lesson or the messages, I don't really want to use the word lesson, it sounds like we're in trouble, but the messages that are out there in front of us, then we'll start seeing things through a different light. These past holidays were really tough. All the holidays are tough. But these past holidays, I did something outside the box, something that I wouldn't normally do since Tanner left, and I haven't done since Tanner left. I haven't gotten out and decorated the house for Christmas since the last time Tanner and I did it together. And I really didn't want to do it. I've been dreading it, but it was my granddaughter's first Christmas, and I wanted the house to be decorated for her. So one afternoon, I got up in the attic and I started pulling out the lights. Let me back up. My wife got the decorations out of the attic. I got in the garage, so she'd correct me real quick. I got in the garage, started pulling the decorations out, and I started decorating the house. And it was the hardest thing I had done in a long time, was taking the first step on that ladder. But after I got out there and I started doing it, it started feeling good, and I just kind of got lost in it, and I just kept putting decorations up, kept putting them up, and that evening, I turned them all on, and I stepped back in the street, and I looked at the house, and I thought, damn, it's going to take a long time to put all these decorations up, but you know what, it felt great while I was doing it, and I had dreaded it for the last 3 years. I guess 4 years. This is the fourth Christmas since Tanner's been gone. I dreaded it. And I realized, I got outside the box. I took a step in a direction that I didn't think I wanted to go, but I needed to go. So maybe if we get out there and we start getting outside the box, start getting out of our comfort level, what we've learned to be our new comfort zone, and do different things that, we'll feel better about ourselves. So once we start feeling better about ourselves, we start continuing their legacy. And that's what it's all about. So, I know families that have lost loved ones that spend a lot of time in the ICU that now cook meals for families in the ICU during the holidays and go up there and serve them. I know, a man that goes up and he rocks babies and gives babies bottles in the hospital that's lost a child. I've got friends that I got a buddy that just does everything he can possibly do and lives vicariously for his son. And, once we get out there and we start teaching the world or continue to show the world what our loved one was about, the better we feel and the more it makes us complete. And there's nothing that makes me feel any better than talking about Tanner to a total stranger and letting them learn about Tanner. So, maybe it's time to get outside your box. Maybe it's time to get out there and take that step, which you think is going to be it is going to be one of the hardest things you've done since you've lost them, but get out and do something different. I mean, if you're sitting there and you're down and you don't feel good and you don't feel good about yourself, nobody can change it but you. Nobody can take that first step but you. And you just got to reach a point where you want to do it. Excuse me. And once you do, once you start feeling better about yourself, then your whole perspective on all this will start changing. You're not going to lose your loved one. You're not going to move further away from them. You're just going to start breathing and living again like they would want you to do, like you would want them to do. So, do it, man. Get outside the box. Force yourself. It's like, an addict, I guess. You can't quit till you quit. Well, you can't quit feeling bad till you quit feeling bad. You can't get out there and make a difference until you get out there and make a difference. So, trust me, I tried every way in the world not to do it. I've thrown booze at it, I've thrown pills at it, I have tried everything that I thought I could to avoid living and avoid going on. And, it's not what our loved one wanted us to be going through. It's not the way Tanner would want me to live the rest of my life. It's not doing Tanner any good or any honor if I just hole up and give up. So don't give up on them. Continue to live. Get out there and tell the world about them. They were great souls. Tell the world about it. The world's not going to know if you don't tell them. So anyway, until then, have a wonderful evening and get out there and make a difference in society. I know I am.